Hey, what's up, guys? Day 2 of just recording this journey, I suppose. So this is day 3 actually, but video number 2. I think the big one to talk about today is kind of just like, I suppose, anxiety and fear of failure. That's something I really noticed today, and it's something I've noticed throughout this whole journey. So a really good example is like when I'm sending out a client proposal. I kind of get into a frame of mind where it's like, if I don't get this, this is like the end. It's all coming to an end, and it's that scarcity mentality where it's like, I need to kind of move into that mentality of abundance, but I don't think I'm ever going to get there, or I don't think I'm going to get there until I actually kind of have a solid foundation behind me, because it does come down to scarcity, where I'm just feeling like it's really, I have to get this client. So a really good example is when I first started, I had my first sort of interested prospect, had a meeting with them, thought it went really well, and I was just doing anything I could to kind of like land the deal. I was pitching around 2K, which is quite cheap, and I was like, I'll do a guarantee as well. Sent them over like an additional guarantee, and then I didn't hear anything, and I remember messaging my brother saying, like, just asking, like, do you think like do you think I should send another email? Do you think I should, just panicking about the situation. Sorry, my glasses are steaming up a bit. It's quite hot in here. But yeah, this is definitely something I've noticed, and like, especially today. So for context, as I said in my last video, I've got 2 clients now. I've got the one that was on commission only, and then I've got my latest one that's paying $3,000 a month. The one that was commission only, their chief revenue officer, who I was working with, that's kind of our direct relationship, he's actually left their company to focus on his own. He had another company that he's working on at the same time. So he's left the company that I was working with to start up his own one. So I'm still working with the original company, but he wants to bring me over to his new company. I feel like I just really overcomplicated that, but hopefully that makes sense. But I thought, okay, great. Everything's kind of like coming together at a really good time, because that's obviously going to be another revenue stream. So we kind of spoke about this on the phone the other day, and I just said it'll be, our retainers around $3,000 to $5,000 a month, depending on what you need. He said, okay, great. Let's discuss it nearer the time. He's going away on holiday, so he sent me a message yesterday just asking about, okay, I want to hit 100,000 email. I've got a list of 100,000 companies I want to contact. What would this look like? So from my perspective, that's a massive amount of volume to target in an email campaign. So I was thinking like, how do we structure this? And so I'm in a group chat with my brother and my friend Sam. We're all doing the same thing, lead generation. So it's nice to have like a group of people you can actually communicate this sort of stuff with. Otherwise, I think it would be quite lonely. But yeah, Jack, my brother, just said like, just why don't you just pitch 15K as a lump sum and just treat it like that. So I thought that was quite a good idea. So I sent him a message offering the 15K, and like that night, like I probably sent that message at around 12 a.m. and that night I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was just in work mode and I couldn't get to sleep until like 1 a.m. I was dreaming about it, and like it was weighing on my mind of like part excitement, part anxiety of like, imagine this would be great. This is exactly what I need. Like a cash injection of 15K would, like, obviously being currently unemployed and not having the cash flow to currently stay above float, there's naturally going to be a level of anxiety there where it's like, I'm still in that danger zone, right? So that 15K cash injection would be like, wow, okay, cool. This is giving me a real good runway where I can actually kind of make things happen and I don't need to worry as much. So there was a lot, like, I suppose, mentally riding on that. So anyway, long story short, in the morning, hadn't heard anything back. That's cool. But then just as time went on throughout the day, I just started like feeling more, the anxiety definitely started to build. And I started to think like, I've just released a European campaign. In my head, that was I spent a lot of time in it, did a lot of personalization. I thought it was really clever. And I was expecting, we'll send that out. I've got 5,000 companies in the list. I thought we'll just send that out and that will be, that's gonna perform really well. And then it's been running for like a day and I've got, one interested prospect, which is good. But I thought I'm gonna get like 10, 20, like, you know, everyone's gonna be messaging back. So I had really high expectations and like unrealistic expectations. So that was the first thing that kind of knocked me into a state of anxiety, I think, and just like negativity more so. And then that started to spill over into this other thing, like, okay, why hasn't he replied? Have I pitched too much? Is 15K? Have I now damaged that relationship by like scaring him off with a high price? And I was just, in a very like, I don't know, like foggy state of mind where I just wasn't like focused. I wasn't in like okay, fuck it. Like I was getting stuff done, but just distracted mentally. And you know, we ended up talking. He said, look, 15K is a bit too much. I wouldn't be able to invest that all immediately. So I came back with a counter offer. I said, like, rather than doing 100K emails, why don't we just do 20K? Or sorry, he suggested that. And I said, as a counter offer, why don't we just do $2,500 for 3 months? And then we can work out some kind of commission on top of that. So he said, yeah, cool, let's go ahead with that. I'll let you know kind of what the commission might look like and we can negotiate that. So again, immediately after I got that, I'm like back up again. So I think it's to be expected where like this is just going to be a very like up and down mental journey. And I was again talking to my brother about this, and I think to a degree it's amplified at the minute by the fact that I don't have that sort of safety net. You know, I've got, as I said, a month's worth probably of money at the minute from my last job. And then after that, it's like, well, you have to make something happen. You've got like rent to pay, bills to pay, whatever. And it's like, okay, that's kind of looming over me at the minute where it's like, okay, you have to make this work. Otherwise, I don't know what the alternative is. So there's a lot of pressure there. But yeah, I mean, that brought me back up to like a really positive, like, I don't know, vibrational energy where, and it changes so quickly, you know, something can happen and I'm sure it's not even something happening, but it's just, I suppose, that becoming the norm. And, just kind of like pushing forward with it. And I mean, what else am I going to do? Like, there's nothing I can do. Like feeling like that's not going to change anything, but I don't think it's something I can necessarily control. It's definitely something I'm trying to get a grasp of. I think, like, generally speaking, I've got quite like an anxious disposition to things. I don't know why that is, but like over time, I've definitely recognized that where, you know, with everything, I tend to think like, what's the word, like disasterize or kind of think the worst situation. So it definitely applies to everything. There's some kind of like mental model going on there where it's I make things are worse than they actually are. So it's definitely something to work on, and it like absolutely 100% applies to business as well. And it's not helpful, you know, like maybe like continual meditation practice, something like that. That's something I've been trying to do. But again, it's very hard to make that into a regular practice. I've been doing that for like 3-4 years, or more than 4 years probably. But as a regular practice is something I've been very inconsistent with, but equally it's something that I really benefit from. I get into a very nice sort of state of just being very present, you know, like just letting things come to me, whatever. Okay, cool. We just have a very present and very good vibrational energy. So I think that's something that would really help me to navigate those ups and downs. But yeah, like to a degree, like this is not an easy thing to do. Like running any business, you don't have a steady stream of income. There are going to be periods where you feel really stressed, and there's going to be periods with high highs and low lows. I think it's never going to be just like plain sailing. You might have periods where it's like you're just existing, but I think for the most part it's going to be fluctuating rather than a career. It's just a nice steady path of security, obviously, unless you get fired like I did, and then it comes plummeting down. But I made a few notes. So what I'm trying to do, just to like give me an idea of things to talk about in these videos, just to kind of like map out my brain, and then I can talk about it when applicable. I'll just make a couple of notes. So yeah, we spoke about the worry of like not making it. Like, what happens if this doesn't work? Like, you know, that's a very realistic possibility. What happens if this doesn't work? But again, what I will have to cross that bridge when I come to it. And I don't think we're going to come to it. You know, got to try and stay positive and just keep kind of pushing forward. I really do really believe that this is going to be successful. And I think having that self-belief is gonna take me a long way. But you always have that like niggling background thought of like, well, what if, but fuck it. We've kind of already spoken about that. We spoke about the 15K offer and anxiety. I said too high, but that's all sorted now. I was worrying about that at the time. I thought I'd note it down. And the importance of gym. So yeah, this is really good because like something I really notice is when I'm feeling like that, if I get a good training session in, or if I don't have a good training session, if I don't train for the day, I find I'm much more susceptible to feeling like that. I feel very foggy. I don't have like, I'm noticeably less focused. I'm noticeably less positive. Where especially if I have a good gym session, like if I'm feeling bad like I was today, go and train, and I feel like you just forget about everything. It's like it's kind of like with jiu-jitsu where you have like what do they call it? Active mindfulness or whatever, where it's not possible to worry about shit while you're doing hard things, whether that be jiu-jitsu, sparring, training. You're just focusing on the action, and then you also got the endorphins and all the dopamine and all the good like positive chemicals that you get from training. So I think that's something that's really, really important to me, and something I've been very consistent with over the past few years. I've been training in the afternoons now as well, which is someone's making a loud noise, which is much better for me. But that's been very beneficial. Well, also organization. So like I'm terrible with organization, and I've been trying to like figure out like for a long time, even outside of business, like what's a good strategy for organization, especially having your own business and like having to organize lots of different things. And it's not even that crazy at the minute, but I'm assuming it's definitely going to get harder to manage. So just trying to like work out what those systems are in terms of how can I make things easier to manage and organize, because I think the worst thing, that's a big worry of mine as well, is like forgetting to do something important, whatever. I can't even think of an example of what that might be, but like forgetting to do something important and damaging a client relationship out of having poor organization. So I mean, literally what I've just been doing is, I found this really helpful. Don't know if you can see that, but just writing shit down, like just to do. It's not even dated. I just have like a never-ending to-do list, and as soon as I think about something, I just write it down there. So I mean, for me right now, that's actually working quite well, and I can kind of just like ad hoc when I start my day, just like think about, okay, what should I start with first? Start with that. I tend to bounce around with things quite a lot, which doesn't help. Need to probably think of a way of like structuring my day and breaking it down more, but I think that's just going to come with time. It's very early days yet, but yeah, that's definitely helping so far. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. So it looks like that the deal I spoke about today, 2,500, I think like I feel very positive. We've got a very good relationship with the client, or I have a very good relationship with the client. He's very impressed with what I did with his last company. So I think that's pretty much good to go. So if that, again, you never know until they actually pay, contract sign, whatever. But if that goes ahead, that's going to bring me up to $5,500 a month, which is good. I think I probably need like around 7 to 8 to cover my previous job. And that's when I start to feel a bit more comfortable. So we're definitely heading in the right direction. And obviously, with my other existing client that is currently on commission only, we spoke about this. I don't know if I said this in the first video. I don't think I did. But after we complete the campaign, we're going to move over. We're going to sort of structure the pricing plan. So move over to a retainer. I'm going to help him with the LinkedIn campaign as well and some other bits. And then not sure what I'm going to charge yet. It will be probably around $4,000 per month, and then some commission on top. So we've spoken about that. He's aware, so it's not going to be like a surprise. That's kind of our plan moving forward. They're also on the brink of getting investment, so they're going to have the funds to invest in this sort of marketing. So yeah, I mean, again, things can turn around very quickly. I think things are actually piecing together quite well, and it's very early days. Like, it was like a week ago I was fired. So I think I need to just try and look at the bigger picture almost, and just be grateful for where I am, really, because like I could be in a position where, okay, I haven't got these opportunities that I've just like, it's partly luck, right? It's partly luck that the company, the person I was speaking with left to start his own or continue with his own company. That's gained me a new opportunity. It's partly luck that the company that's commission based, they're on the brink of getting investment and they're ready to start investing on a retainer basis. It's partly luck that the company that I closed the other day has agreed to go ahead and do a retainer with us. So I could be in a position where I didn't have any of that, and like I'd be thinking, fuck. So while I'm worrying at the minute, like it's kind of dumb, really. I'm on 5,500, like assuming that I get the deal, but I'm on 5,500 a month. Could be a lot worse, and it's still very early days. So actually, I think trying to have more of a positive outlook, because things are actually definitely looking up and looking very good. So yeah, let's just keep going with it. I don't think there's much more to talk about, but yeah, I'll keep you posted with everything. I'm liking this structure a lot more, videos where it's just like a conversation. I think as time goes on as well, it'll be easier for me to talk. It still feels a little bit like weird, and maybe a bit like, I don't know, maybe not as raw as I'd like. I just want this to literally be like I'm just talking to someone that I feel like I can talk to about anything. So, and I think that's going to be really, really cool to look back on, you know, like let's say in a year's time when I've got to this really good place, and I'm going to be able to look back and think, you know, just laugh at the shit I'm worrying about. Or other people are going to be able to come, you know, people that would be looking up to me in a year's time and think, oh, how did you get there? They're going to be able to go back and just watch all of these brain dumps and just kind of like, I don't know, there might be like knowledge or, you know, something to learn from it. I just think for me personally, I'd find that really inspiring. And I do find it inspiring watching someone's journey from when they're like, from the very start to where they get to, rather than someone saying, oh, like, I did this, you know. I like watching someone fail, not in that, like, not in a bad way. Like, it's good to watch someone's journey. It's very like raw, authentic, and I think there's a lot to gain from it. So, and the only way to do that is to record and document things from when you're actually at the bottom. So that's the plan anyway. I've been talking way too long in this video. So again, hope you enjoyed. I feel like this wasn't as seamless and coherent as my last video, but again, fuck it. It's just part of the process. I'm just talking. Doesn't need to be perfect. So hope you enjoyed the video. Again, drop a like, comment, subscribe, whatever, if you want to see the future ones. And I will put my Twitter link in the description below. Still not posting. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. Maybe. Don't know what I'll post yet. But yeah, cool. Thanks again for watching.